So hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Walter Coulter of cornucopia.com. Walter Coulter, also known as my very older brother, and he is going to be giving us financial advice. A lot of you guys have seen him on here a lot of times before, and so we are bringing him back. And in fact, we are giving Walter his own day called Wealth Wednesdays with Walter, where he is going to be dropping all kind of financial advice that we can use, right? Because on this show, we talk about everything. And what we like to do is make it useful so that, everybody can maybe take some information and better their lives with. So I should also say the Demetra K Show, the purpose is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in our community to make us an even better people. If y'all could do us a favor and share, like, subscribe if you haven't already done it. Also, we have a Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo at the bottom of the screen to help support this channel, because every little bit that you do help. Thank you for all those that are members and have, subscribed and all that to this channel. So again, we have Mr. Walter Coulter here, and Walter has worked with so many people in the entertainment industry, athletes, and everyday people such as us, to help us learn how to, manage money and how to make more of it, so that basically we can have a better quality of life. Because I don't care what you say, if you ain't got money, you got problems. All right. So anyway, Walter, and then also say to the audience, I am going to actually be reading some of the comments. So depending on how many people we have here today, I won't be able to read them all, but I definitely will take your questions, and Walter will take your questions as well. So if you have any financial question or anything like that, please feel free to throw them in the comment section. But today's lesson, or whatever it is you want to call it, is the first steps to financial freedom. So what's the first thing we need to do to be financially free? And so, Walter, go ahead and take it away.
Ooh, that's a loaded question, but actually, I'm going to try and keep it together pretty simple, as I'm putting this on my Facebook too. So here's one thing I learned, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna act like I never met none of you people. And I'm gonna act like we just met. So someone said to me, "What would be the first thing you need to do to build financial wealth?" Number one, for those of you taking notes, is one, to figure out where you stand. Like knowing where you stand. Like, friend, you ever heard that? Like knowing where you stand. It's easier to progress if you know where you stand. Because in the world of finance, you have the people that don't know where they stand and they think they're doing better. And then there are a lot of people that are actually doing way better, but don't know it. So they're still making those poor, idiotic moves. So there's a lot of, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. I'm working with a few people now that have, 700 FICO scores. And for the longest time, they thought their credit was bad. And I was like, let's run your credit. Let's figure, if there's a boogeyman in the closet, let's go deal with him. At least if he's going to kill us, let's get it out of the way. So you run their credit, boom, 700, right? So one, with a decent credit score, there's a lot you can do, and we'll go into that later. So knowing where you stand. There's something that I always do with people, and you can do this too, and I take a blank piece of paper. So, and you could do this on a napkin. You've heard of napkin finance. It doesn't matter where you are, where you stand. You can literally take a sheet of paper like this. All right, this is my schedule. So I'm gonna go back in time and just draw a T on it, just like that. So what I'm doing here is I'm just making it real simple. This is Finance for Dummies 101. Anybody could do it. What I'd like to do is, first of all, figure out what you need to survive. What does it cost you to live? Now, recognize I said need, because there are needs and wants. Like, you need food and shelter. You need to make sure that you have decent health care, and you have, plenty of water and, utilities. And those are the things you need. See, some people get caught up with, oh, I got to have some shoes. You need shoes, but you don't need 6 pair, right? And so I'm not going to try and beat up too many people today with the shoes, but what I'm going to do is stick to the basics. So what do you need, right? So let's say in this box, I do it this way. At the top left, I put an A for assets. What do you have? On the bottom, I put an L, right? So there's an A, and then I got an L at the bottom, right? On the left side. AL, and then, so that stands for assets, liabilities, right? And then what I do on the very top of the page, I put a P. So I have this thing, it's called Alpi. And it's not something I made up, it's something I learned when I was working for American Express. So, and I just think about it as Alpi, wasn't he a dog? He was a dog, Alpo, something like that. We call him Alpi, right? So it makes sure your dog is in order. So it's Alpi, Alpie. So the A is for assets, L is for liabilities, P is for policies or protection, I is for income, and E is for expenses. So what I like to do is just start with expenses. What do you see? Most of us don't even know what we're spending. Like what I like to do, and here's a tip, right? Is I go through my bank statements and my credit cards, every statement I get in credit cards, on my statements, I go through every single line and see where I'm blowing money. Because what happens, as a matter of fact, I was looking at one of my Best Buy statements, and I went on this website, and it's supposed to be $1 for like to check a VIN number. And they hit me 4 times for $24.95 same day. So instead of $1, it was 100. And if I wouldn't have checked it, I wouldn't have known. I would have just spent out 99 bucks, right? So by going through my statement, I put $99 back in my account, right? And then I asked those fools for a free month for making me waste my time having to call them. So there's one thing. Go through, where do you stand? Where do you spend money? There are things that you can do. You can sign up for, like mint.com is something that's very basic, but it lets you know where you spend money. For those of you that have Venmo, like Venmo credit cards, Venmo will basically tell you where you spent money, where you spent money on food, entertainment. It breaks it all down, right? So one is normally you stand. What are your expenses? Like for instance, if your mortgage is $2,200, your car payment is $500, you're already at $2,700, and then you got to eat. So now you're at $3,000, $3,200. You understand what I'm saying? Then you got health insurance. I mean, shit, you could be at $4,000 before you even do anything fun, unless you like your house. You see what I'm saying? So it's good to know where you stand, because knowing where you stand, then you can operate from there. So what I did, and what I constantly do, is I write down my expenses all the time. Here are my mortgages on my homes. Here are my cars, health insurance, my kids, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the expenses that I have, I write them down, and I consistently go over them all the time. You'll always see me, if you were here, writing down numbers. Okay, I paid this much. I need to get rid of this, get rid of this. So normally you stand is huge. Then let's say that number is $5,000. See, because a lot of us are kidding ourselves. We think, oh, and I'm guilty of this. Oh, my expenses are $4,000. But once I took a look, I was like, oh, my expenses are close to $5,800. Do you see what I'm saying? So now I need to go from there and see what can I get rid of, right? So subscriptions, a lot of that stuff you get rid of. Some of y'all got OnlyFans and this and Adobe and all these things. You could just, man, you could get rid of some of those things. I was spending a lot of money on food and entertainment, and I got to the point I was like, that's silly. I mean, you got to entertain, but at some point, I mean, you're able to control it. So what I started doing was cooking at home. And then I noticed my expenses, because when I go to Costco, I spend $500, but that will last me for 2 months. And then I just go out on occasions. So my meals, entertainment, that stuff was killing me. I'm going to switch gears here just a little bit. I'm going to talk to both sexes. I watched this video, and he said, one guy asked, if you were going to get rich, what would you do differently? And he said, I would ignore the booty. And I thought about it. He goes, I spent so much money on dating and on women, or for you ladies now, because the new age man will have you taking care of him. So ladies, what do you spend? Men, what do you spend dating? I'll give you case in point, and we're still on expenses, right? So have you ever been on a date? Think about this for a second. If you have a date on Friday, and I'm not saying don't date, I'm just saying pick somebody and roll with that person, right? Those of you got 3 or 4 people you dating at a time, you ain't gonna never be retired. So it's Thursday, right? I know I got a date tomorrow. That means instead of making money, I'm occupied on this date. Now, if it's your wife or your man, you should spend most of your time thinking about that person. But I'm talking about the side chicks and the dudes on the left and the right. So then Friday night, instead of working late and getting that money, you're taking off to go on this date. Then dinner is $200-300, and if you're in LA, Atlanta, New York, it's $300. You guys know what I'm talking about. You can't take 2, 3, 4 people out for less than $200 on the West or the East Coast. So then you got drinks, and you got Uber, then you got, Lord have mercy, you could be $300-400. I guarantee you, some of you guys are doing this 2, 3, 4, 5 times a month. See, I'm in Houston, where my sister is, at the lake house out there, and I go to Papa Do's once in a while, and it is packed. It is Negro Damas up in Papa Do's, however you say it. And I'm watching these people just, what's that hurricane drink you guys got down there? Watching people tossing three, and I know it's like $15, $20 drinks. And I'm watching people order those over and over and over, and I'm looking at them, and I can't, based on what I see, they don't really look financially independent. You know what I'm saying? You kind of look at somebody and see if financially they got their stuff together. So it's easy to blow money. So take all, and I say this, and people look at me crazy. I mean, somebody said $300. Glad I live in the Midwest. In the Midwest, you could buy a cow for $300. The whole thing. So take your expenses, write them down, go through your statements. And as I'm talking, I'm taking notes too. Go through your statements, know where you stand. Every single statement. If you have 10 credit cards, go through them. 10 credit cards, go through every single line, go through all your bank statements. You guys, you will find hundreds of dollars that every month you miss because we're busy, right? So if right now I'm 50, let's say I pretend I was 40. If I'm saying pretend, right? Some people on here think I'm 28. So if I'm 40 and I take $200 a month, just a ratchet, raggedy $200 a month, and I put that away till I'm 70 in the stock market and forget about it at a 12% rate of return, I have $700,000. 700 grand. $100 at 12% for 30 years, forget about it, is $350,000. Let me ask you guys a question. How many people do you know at 70 with 350 saved? With 700 saved? So you're telling me with a funky $200 a month, I can have $750,000, and if I want to be a millionaire, I could add $300 a month, and I could be worth $1 million in 30 years. See, that's the stuff you do, and you put it to the side. So knowing where you stand, you go, oh, okay, can I get $300? Now that's the long-term plan. That's the Grady deal. But as a lot of you guys have been talking about money, praise the Lord, for 20 years or whatever y'all do, and still at the same spot. Matter of fact, some of y'all have less money than when you were 20 years younger. You understand what I'm saying? Because you have so many things, grandkids, boats, cars, all these things, and they just keep hitting you. And then you wake up and you have nothing. So figure out where you stand. And what I was going to say is figure out how much you could save, but that's backwards. What you need to do is figure out how much you're going to save first and spend the rest. Because if you treat your savings plan like the food or the car payment, then the savings plan will be uninterrupted. And before you know it, your money starts growing, and then you can afford to do some other things. So expenses is number one. Go through your statements, know where you stand. Number two, how much money are you bringing in? Like, take, this Mint application, you can use that. There's a lot of, me, I like to write my income down from Turo, Airbnb, from my cornucopia, from whatever, my referral services, my nutrition, whatever, the things that I'm doing. I like to count that money I count it every day. Here's what I'm making on Turo. Here's, my Range Rover, somebody's renting out at $200 a day. So what, in March, that was $2,000. So I'm like, okay, that was $2,000. That pays my mortgage. And then, from there, my other income, here's what I'm going to save, and I allocate it. So know where you stand. And then some of you guys, question.
So, and you guys, if you have anything specifically you want us to address, just put it in there. The comment section will do that. But I just kind of want to stop at the expense thing for a minute. So I recently did my taxes, and Lord have mercy, I did my taxes. Well, actually, I didn't do my taxes. My nephew did my taxes, and he's just like, guru like his father. And so I had to kind of look into where I could write some things off, right? And so as I'm looking into, some of my statements, I'm like, I was horrified because I'm one of those people who think that I'm pretty frugal. But when I really did a deep dive analysis into where my money was going, I was like, this can't be mine, right? But it was. And so that's why it resonates to me when you say, like, really do a line item and then go through your statements and see where your money is going, because you will be amazed. Like that little bitty $2, $5, $10 here and there, it adds up. I mean, just even on a monthly basis, if you're not cognizant of where your money is going. So I would say that's a big one for me, is to really be careful as to where my money is actually going.
Right. So knowing where you stand is huge. And then the money, like some of you guys are working harder than a one-legged man in a booty kicking contest. I mean, your hamstrings about to go out. Let me put it to you this way. So there was a point in time, somebody said, I'm trying to keep a job. Here's what I would say. Once you get really mentally tough, is I want you to really look at your job while we're on the income thing and think about what you are giving up to get that job and what you could be doing instead. I mean, still making money. Case in point. Let's say I made $20 an hour. $20 an hour is what? $800 a week. Does that make sense? I'm gonna write that real small over here so it don't fuck with my real income. So that's $800 a week. Think about, that's $20 an hour. Think about how much gas is right now. So you're easily spending $100 a week to get back and forth to work. You understand what I'm saying? So now you're at 7. Then you buy lunch, you go to happy hour lunch. Oh, I got you, homie. I got your lunch. So you're spending another $100 on food. I'm talking about work-related food, not get home and take care of your real man. I'm talking about the side dude at work, the money the dude you spend money on. That's an easy $100. So you're at $600. You see what I'm saying? And then you think about uniforms and stress. Some of you guys are taking medicine because you got to deal with your boss. So all the things that you spend money on before you even get the money to your house, you're at $500. And here come Uncle Sammy, right? You got to pay taxes and disability and Social Security and some of those things. So now, by the time you get your check, you're at $400 a week. Like, think about this for a second. $400 a week. So for $80 a day, you are giving up your whole week, not just Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Because if you have to work Monday morning, what are you doing Sunday night? Thinking about work. That means you and your man, you ain't really doing what you're supposed to be doing, making a cool dinner. You're not drinking wine until you fall asleep. You're worried about work. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the stupidest shit I ever heard. But so what if you broke down and said, I just need to make $80 a day? Wouldn't that make more sense? Or I need to make 100 a day. Because, I mean, you should shoot for more than 400. But what do I need to do to buy my day back? You mean to tell me I got to make $120? I got to make $150 to get my life back? In California, we see people, when you get on the freeways and on-ramps and you turn left and right, you see the little Mexican homies. They got the oranges, they got the flowers, they got like the bears with they got all kinds of stuff going on. And so I wonder how much that dude is making. I guarantee you he's making more than $80 a day because I see him out there every day. I stop by and get flowers once in a while. For $5, I get everybody something. So what could you do to get $100 back? It blows me away. So let me go back to the slave mentality. So you work all week. Sunday night, we know is gone. Friday night, you're so ready to be off work, you're blowing all kinds of money. Saturday, you're resting because you're tired. Then Sunday, it's another rest day. And then, oh, baby, I got to work. Have you ever said to somebody, oh, I got to work? I can't do that. Oh, I can't, I got to be to work at 9 o'clock this morning, so we can't make love at 7:30. That's got to go. So one thing I promised to do is I need to, like, any woman I'm with, she just needs to be free. Because you only live once, and I ain't going to be 70 years old before I can roll over at 7 in the morning. Does that make sense? Let me go back to your first comment about the $100. I missed that. You see, I want to address that. Oh, so let's say I have $100, I put 50 away. I use 25 to pay tolls and food. The last 25 I spent as I made, and I watch the rest grow. So let me be honest with you. Well, see, so and it depends. I mean, you could save $50, but how long is it going to take you to become free? Now, if you're saving that $50 to build up a little nest egg to then go into a business or something, then that's cool, right? Because you don't necessarily have to save money over a long period of time to build wealth. You can build wealth. I'm telling you, some of you guys in 6 to 12 months could be on your way, like rolling, making big money, which we're going to get into when we talk about credit. So, but take everything you can. If you're making $4,000 a month, you need to be saving 4 to 800. Here's what I want you to do. Get you a mirror, and every time you walk out of your bedroom or into your bedroom or wherever that mirror is, and go, hey man, are you saving money? Or is the taco man or the brewery or whatever it is, the bucket at church, is that more important than my lifestyle? Do you understand what I'm saying? Is my preacher, is my landlord, is my taco man, is he in better shape financially than me? So the first person you should save money for is you. So what I do is I make it a habit of always put money away, even if it's $10, $5. Do that, because you can put away $5 a day. That's $150 a month. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then $6, $6.50 a month, $7 a month. I mean, $7 a day is $200 a month. Over 30 years at 12% is $750. So start, like you guys, some of you guys have these Acorn apps and things, like use those things. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's number one. Two, let me answer this question. Is it okay to borrow money for a credit card? Yes, if you're going to do the right thing with it.
He says, is it okay to borrow money to pay off credit card debt?
Oh, I'm sorry, my reading only made it to the 3rd grade. So no, I'm just kidding. I actually made it barely made it out of 12th. So it depends. Like, I'll give you a case in point. I have a friend of mine. She has $25,000 in credit card debt, and her credit score is at like 605. I'm gonna leave her nameless. And so I ran some numbers, and I said, if you take this credit card, if you borrow money from one of those like lending companies like Lending Tree, First Main, they're gonna beat you up with the interest rate, but it will lower your payment and give you $200 or $300 extra depending on what you owe, which will then give you money to stack and then get going. So I would take those credit cards, put into an installment loan. Here's why. And when I don't know you. It's just it's just out there. We should talk and get the real deal. So let's say you're paying $500 a month on credit cards and they're maxed out. Your credit score is going to suffer. If you move those to a one installment loan over 60 months or 72 months, your credit cards are going to open up because your balances are now low versus availability. Your credit score is going to shoot up, and now you have one payment instead of 5. Then what you could do, so now that's one way to go, and then you take the extra 100 or whatever it is, and then you save that, right? And then what you do is you build a nest egg so you can make moves. Now, what I would do, and this is for the brave and the bold, this is for the grown and sexy. So if you need to take 30 seconds and go somewhere, go do that, because I'm going to hit you, is I would do that. Now I got all those credit cards. Let's say I got $10,000 in credit cards. I would take that $10,000 and do what banks do, and I would use it. So let's say I use the $10,000 again, and I'm paying 15%. But I can take that money, put it somewhere that's going to pay me 100. I get to keep 85. So I give them 15, and I get 85. I'll give you case in point. I mean, I can't take my computer out to my driveway, but my son is one of his best friends is outside. He's the mechanic for all the BMWs that I buy. I bought a BMW today for $3,500. It's gonna sell for $7,500. I'm gonna do little things to it, but let's say I'm in it for and I sell it for 75. That's almost, what is that, 80% of my money in a week. But I'm still doing the work. But if I borrowed all that money, wouldn't it make sense to pay them 15% on that credit card and make 80% on the money? You can do this with oranges, flowers, chicken necks. You can do this with lighters. What do you think Walmart and all these, like, I bought these candles from Target. I know damn well these candles ain't worth no $16. They probably paid, they paid some Himalayan, like 20 cents to pour the wax in there. Hold the candle, my man. And like somebody made this glass, they probably spent 40 cents making that $16 candle. Do you know how much debt Target has? A bunch. That's why when the world goes crazy, the financial systems lock up. That's why banks and those big companies, they have so much trouble because they have so much debt. But when the times are rolling, debt works good. You see what I'm saying? So those are the type of things I would do with credit. Like some of you have credit, it's just sitting there, use it to make money. I don't care. Some of you guys just need to spend a couple $100, $1,000 to get your social media game up and going. And then you can, I mean, if you get 1 to 2 new clients a month, I mean, can you make 300-400 bucks or whatever it's going to cost you in interest? You see what I'm saying? So I'll give you this case in point. I was watching, if you guys want to get your credit right, you can check out the Credit Dude on Instagram. I was watching his thing on Facebook on Earn Your Leisure, their channel. I mean, on YouTube. And then while I was going to look for him, the ad popped up for a house, modular home. And I've been looking to build a house in the desert. Crazy is, I clicked on this link. I have an appointment Friday to meet with them to buy one of their modular homes. The point I'm making is, I saw that on social media. And even the owner of the company goes, "How did you see us?" I said, "Instagram." He goes, "Oh, we have that?" I said, "Yeah, man, who's ever doing your Instagram marketing, you owe them money." The point I'm making is that's just a little bit of money you can spend to get your name out there, right? Here's what I'm gonna say. You guys, I'm gonna up the game. If you're making $200 a month, save 25. If you're making $2,000 a month, save 200, save 400. You guys, you gotta grow some nuts up in here. You're not gonna get rich. I mean, start with 25, but we gotta get going. You guys, when I say we, I mean, I'm talking not just Black people, I'm talking about the human race. We are in trouble. If you guys understand what's going on with Ukraine, the oil prices, blue no matter who, all the things that are devastating this economy, you guys, and then the interest rates are going up, I can promise you, when they turn off those spigots and stop giving out credit and all that, a lot of people are going to be in bad shape. So save as much as you can. I mean, I won't kid you. Yeah, you should save what you can. But man, if you're bringing home $2,000-3,000, you got to be saving 10, 15, 20% of your money. So back to income, no 401k is not a scam. The good thing about a 401k is you put the money away, you can't touch it for 30, 40 years. And for some of y'all, that's good. Because you see a lot of people, they don't have a dime till they get 60 and they get to the 401k. Now, the downside about the 401k is you can't get to the money for 20, 30, 40 years or whenever you're 60 or, depending on your plan at work. But for some people, it's like life insurance, the cash value, it's out of your mind. You don't even think about it. And for some of us, that's good, right? There are better things than 401ks, but if you're the type of person that's not going to save on your own, I would do the 401k. And I'm not a fan of the 401k. I think it's a shitty product, but based on doing nothing, it's a good product. If that makes sense. So leaving the income section, actually, you know what? Let's spend a few more minutes here. I'm going to give you guys 2 or 3 things you can do right now to make money. If you want to write these down, that's cool. And I see this on social media and on YouTube a lot. There's this Turo app, but for whatever reason, people won't do it. If you have 2 cars, and if you have one, you should get 2. There's some advice. You guys, some of you guys want a nice car to the point where you will go and buy a car that you can't even afford, right? So wouldn't it make sense? What if I bought a car and I let other people pay for it? My sister will tell you I'm cheap. I had a new car in my life one time, and that was my Nissan Sentra in 1988. So only time I've ever bought a new car. Now the women in my lives get new cars, right? I'm trying to put it into how many there are in my life, but I bought a new car in 1987, and the car that I have is used right now, right? So what I do is I've always wanted this Range Rover, and I was like, I ain't gonna spend that kind of money. But I was watching this brother on he's called him 500 on Instagram. You can look him up, and he talks about all of his cars. He's got a private jet, and I'm like, whoa, and he goes, here's what I did. I wanted this car, and so I bought it. I'm making payments on it. And then I put it on Turo, and they rent it out every day, and they make my payment. So I'll give you a tip. My Range Rover, if you go to Ontario, California, and you put in Range Rover, you see my black Range Rover. It's actually under my girlfriend's name, D. I gave her the Toro account. Sometimes you got to do that for your woman. Right. So if you go and you see her picture and it rents out for $200 a day, that car in March made us $2,000 just in March. My payment is $900. Now, I only bought the car for $34, so my payment would normally be $34, wouldn't be $900. But Navy Federal was like, how much do you need? I said, well, how much can I get? And they said, we'll loan you $56,000 for the Range Rover. I took it all. So, and you can do this without even owning the car, you guys. Like, if this is why it's good to get your credit, and we'll come back around to credit, is you can find a Range Rover from somebody for sale on the internet or the auto auction. Give Navy Federal the VIN number. They will cut you a check for the car without you even having it in your possession. It's some gangster shit if I'd never seen it. And I wrote a check for my Range Rover, which I did not enjoy doing, but they gave me the money back. Hallelujah. But you can find a car, like your neighbor has a Range Rover, get his VIN number, Navy Federal, he says, man, listen, I want 35. Navy Federal gives you 55, give him 35 plus the fees and taxes. You got to pay that stuff. And you keep the difference. And you take that 10, 15,000, and now you start your clothing line. Now you start your business. Now you buy your second or third car and put on Turo. Get you a little busted little Honda. Get you a little Mercedes ML 350. Remember, D, that black Mercedes I rented when I was in that accident? I rented that car $60 a day for a 2009 Mercedes that I know I could buy at auction for $4,000 all day long. Now I could buy it at auction for $4. The bank will give me $8. Does that make sense? So you can get you a couple cars, and you got your Range or your Mercedes or whatever it is you want. And now you got 3 cars, and all 3 of them are on Turo. So when the cars are rented out, you drive the other one. And if all 3 of your cars are rented out, which means you're making $200, $300, $400 a day, then you Uber it. Have somebody pick you up. Hey man, today I'm making $400. I'll give you 20 to come get me. I mean, you have to start thinking like a boss all the time. You have to know where the money is. Income, you guys, Airbnb. Airbnb is hot. It will pay you the minute somebody checks in. The next day, 24 hours later, they deposit money in your PayPal. Boom, checking account. Some of you in a house you can't afford. You can set parameters. I want women. I want nurses, whatever. I want this person. Only these people can stay. And now Airbnb is paying you 50 to 30, 60, $70 every time somebody stays, plus a $20 cleaning fee. And you $90 for the night times 10 nights is $900. Once you leave California, before you get to New York, $900 is a mortgage payment for most people in this country. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, if they trash the car, tell them, if you wreck my car, wreck it all the way, baby. Because that car is worth more to the insurance company than it is to me. See, here's what I want to do, is I want to get people out of the fear zone. Because everyone says that, oh, you let somebody drive your Range Rover, it's supercharged, she's so sexy. Black on black, she do 150 miles an hour. I let people drive it, because if they F it up, Turo is cutting me a check. I want them to wreck it, total it, so I get a new one. I get a nicer one. My sister, when I went to visit her March 4th, I was in a bad car accident. With the BMW, I bought a BMW for a friend of mine. They backed out, so I'm driving it. I paid $5,500 for the car. I'm driving it. I get, boom, guy comes out of a gas station, hits me. I'm on 2 wheels. It's airbags in my face. And when I come to, once I'm in the ambulance and everything came clear to me, I was like, damn, they towed that car up. My back is hurting. And I'm like, damn, the insurance company. So I'm looking online. It's worth $10,000 to the insurance company. This is the thought I'm having in the ambulance. As we speak right now, they're cutting a check for $10,500 for a car I paid $5,500 on. I made money in the deal, and I'm getting a check from anyways. I mean, I got some back pain I got to deal with, but you understand what I'm saying. The fear has to go, because you don't know what people do to your food. You eat out. You know what I'm saying? You eat out, Lord, man. Some of y'all need to go behind these counters at your restaurants. I would rather loan out my card than eat at a fast food joint. Some of y'all be talking crazy. Man, my food better be ready. I don't want to get up there. My shit ain't ready. They'll be, your shit is ready, all right. Your shit is extra ready. Woo! So, my book, The Story of the Drive-Thru Jerk. Extra chicken. No, so so get rid of the fear, you guys. You can't be in control. And yeah, you can leave them a bad review, but like these apps have insurance. Airbnb has $1 million policy. I can tell you, today I said I was told my sister I was going to give you guys a game. I'm going to tell you everything I'm doing to make sure I don't have to punch a clock and get my girl off the system too. You guys, some of you guys don't own a home. Stop that. Let's get a home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, be nice to your waiters because they got control of your health. What I would do in real estate, because right now the real estate market is crazy. And some of y'all waited too long. But what I would do is, and what I'm doing is buy a fixer-upper. Buy your investment property first. Some of you buy your residence, your home first that you live in. Mistake numero uno, right? That's one for French, whatever. Do not do that. Buy the investment property first. Case in point, the house I'm in right now, I rent. I'm not embarrassed. Look, she's beautiful. I'm paying $2,200 for this house. Right now, the rent alone, my neighbor's paying $3,500. My mortgage would be over $3,000. What I did, instead of giving my man Sam, and right now we're actually talking about negotiating buying the house because I've been here. He's gonna we're not gonna pay fees, so I'll save 60 grand buying it. But I took that $50,000 that I would have had to put down on this house and scrape and go through all that shit. I put it on an investment property in Dallas, and then I borrowed money and I bought a lake house. So the house in Dallas we flipped, right? It was drama, but we sold it. And then the lake house, pays us $4,000 to $5,000 every single month. So my mortgage on that property, and it's a shitty loan because I had to do a hard money. It was a bad deal. My interest rate is, tall as can be. But after I pay my mortgage, I get to keep $3,500. So now the Airbnb on the lake is paying for itself, and I'm getting to keep $3,500. And I'm actually in the process of refinancing it if it doesn't sell. So my mortgage will go down to $800, maybe $1,000. And so now the $5,000-$6,000 I'll get to keep more. So now just stop for a second and think about what I'm saying. Take the Turo money of $2,000 and let's call it $3,000. Let's even break it down to $3,000 from Airbnb. There's $5,000 a month. There's $60,000 a year. Now at work, because you can do this while you have a job, and now your boss, she don't look so mean. You're not worried about your boss because you're bringing in money on the side. And now one day you give your boss, you just send an email. I love working here, but not that much. Here's my 2-week notice. And you get out of it. Then you go back to what I was saying before is you get your time back. And you can do this with Turo, Airbnb. You guys, there's so many apps out there. There's ride sharing apps. I mean, like my Range Rover is on Turo, and I signed up for Uber Black. Yes, me, your Uber driver, right? Because if I Ubered right now to the airport to LAX, it would be $200. And I'm thinking I ain't gonna do it during the day, but at night at 1 a.m. when I'm not doing shit and I'm just up, can't sleep, man, I can go make $200. You know what I'm saying? And that's $200 that most people don't make all day at work. So you could do that too.
Give us your theory about not having money and watching TV.
I mean, I watch TV, but here's what I watch: Billions, Succession. I watch money shows. Thomas Crown Affair, the movie. I watch movies that inspire me to do more. Movies that make me go, okay, I want to do more. I want to have more. Right? I don't watch The Office and The Housewives of Aunt Jemima's Crib and all that stupid shit that's on TV that's making Black people poor as hell. I like to watch stuff that's gonna make me go, oh, I want that. I want to pull up, like Wendy Rhodes is one of my favorite characters on Billions. Her and Jada Shetty. She's a sister girl. She got afro, smooth skin. Anyways, you get the point. I'd love to see her pull up in the Maserati or them have a nice dinner and be suited up and just, I like that lifestyle because it makes me want to do more. So I watch TV that's going to make me want to do more. I don't watch shitty TV, period. So then, because I'm not watching shitty TV, I have other things I could be doing. So even when I'm watching Billions, I'm like, I'm okay, and oh, he said to do this. I think I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like on one show in Billions, they're talking about the carry loophole, interest loophole, which is a real thing in real life that I learned I could use in my personal life. Do you see what I'm saying? So, or like Wall Street, those movies that you should watch. So I don't watch a lot of TV. And every time you turn on that TV, I want you to go, oh man, I'm dumb as hell. I want you now. I do watch Medea. I watch those but late at night when I'm trying to fall asleep because she motivates me. Right? So Medea gets a pass. Some of y'all need to listen to her or him or whatever. Shit, I don't know. But watch things that are gonna empower you. Like my son, one of his best friends is here. He quit his job. Like he was making $500 a week. And I go, you mean you giving up your whole day for $120 after tax? You're getting to keep $100, and then you buy gas and food. This dude on the spot put in his 2-week notice. On the spot. He's outside. If I call him, he'll come inside. This dude this week will make $2,000 from just helping me taking the cars and doing everything. That's why I'm sitting here now, because I'm not out dealing with mechanics and shit. He's 18 years old. And he goes, Mr. Coulter, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. He's 18. I said, dude, if you can consistently make $2,000 a week, that's $100,000. You make more than your parents. And you get to, and you have your time. So you can go by start doing things that you get paid, services you get paid for. Like some of you guys are brilliant. You can do things. You can do hair. And I know women, you spend $200-$300 doing your hair. Learn to do hair. Learn to sell hair. I mean, some people say, oh, you sell everything. I do. You can kiss my ass. People say, all you think about is money. It's all, what else is there? Like, and here's what I mean. And some of you guys just need to man up or woman up. Is don't let people insult you. Because people will come at me, all you think about is money. But you know what I'm thinking about when I have all 6 of my kids, their husbands and wives and grandkids and the whole big old band sitting at a table and the bill's going to be $400? Money. You know what they're not thinking about? Money. None of them. They don't have a stress. They're not worried. They just worried a couple of them get their part. But I'm just thinking, damn, I feel like Kanye West. I just spent $400 on this. All these people. And then we go get boba, whatever, ice cream and this and that, and then links and money is everywhere. And doesn't money make your life easier? Hey, come on, people.
Absolutely. Can you answer this question here?
Yeah, I had my home built 3 years ago and it increased in value about $100,000 in a short amount of time. How can I use this to my advantage? Well, shit, you can do two things. One, you can refinance, pull the equity out before the blue team get to it because they're coming for it. Because once interest rates go up, property values go down, that 100,000 will be Puff the Magic Dragon. So I like to say, get the money. I can do more with the money than the bank can. So if you own your house and you pay $200 and it's worth $100, you got $100,000 that's sitting there. And when the markets go down and interest rates do as they're doing right now, that $100,000 will vanish. There's one thing you could do. The other thing I'm doing, and you got to talk to your tax person, you got to understand where you stand, is one of my homes I'm selling, cashing out. Now people go, why would you sell something that's paying you $3,000 to $5,000 a month? Because I can take $200,000-$300,000 and spread that and buy 5 or 6 homes and repeat it. That's how people go from doing okay to doing, oh shit, I saw this Negro in a Ferrari. He just pulled up on me, shook the whole house. And you guys, some of you guys are a year, 2 years away from driving whatever you want. Because I know cars are a big deal. I want a Ferrari, drop down, block, but you can get to whatever the goal is. You can get there just by making a couple moves. right? My man Cecil says I'm free. I owe no one, never have, never worked for a none to five. Don't mind if I put that on a shirt. I never had a none to five. So Cecil, your system may work for you, and that's fine. If you're free, cool, stick with it, because piece of rate is the best piece of rate. What am I saying? The best interest rate. Peace of mind is the best interest rate. But for some of you guys, you need to get moving. Like, and there's a lot of us that are free, but are a car accident, a slip and fall away from not being free. Let me move on to my next point. Let me move to the P, which is protection. When I was in that car accident, my left side went numb and I couldn't feel my arm for a little bit. And my neck was like, I just had this huge headache and I was in neck pain. And the first thing I thought was, oh, hell no, I'm not paralyzed, right? And then my feelings started coming back. I willed that shit back into existence. So, but I thought to myself, what if I had to be taken care of? What if I couldn't move my left side for a couple weeks? Who's going to wipe the left side of me? You know what I'm saying? I'm reaching over with the right side, trying to reach the left side. That shit look crazy. So who's going to do that for me? Who's going to get me to my appointments? Who's going to make my food? Who's going to, scratch my back? Who's going to do all the things I enjoy doing? And what does that cost? See, some of you guys have this whopping hole in your financial picture, and it's protection. Some of you guys, especially in the urban communities, our parents and aunts and uncles get sick, and we take care of them till the day they die. Ain't no hospice in the Black community. We do it ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? So what if you had enough money stacked coming through the door, or an insurance policy that said if I had a critical illness, injury, they would cut me a check and pay all my expenses and pay my masseuse, my nanny, whatever you want to do? Because why should you stop your lifestyle?
And break that down. I mean, that's pretty profound. You said there's no hospice in the Black community. So for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with hospice it's basically end of life care when people are going to die, whether they're dying of cancer, whatever it may be. And so a lot of times people will have some sort of a coverage policy or something to help with that, but sometimes they don't. And so to his point, the family becomes the hospice, if you will, whether the loved one comes home and you're giving around the clock care and, all of that. And so that is avoidable. How?
So there's a couple things. One, save like a mother. Two, make sure you have the proper insurance. You guys, it is cheap. I pay $75 so I have several life insurance policies, but one of my policies, I pay $75 a month. I have $1 million coverage. If I die, like Nipsey had, I got a mill on my flesh. Hopefully I don't need it that soon. But if I die, my kids from that one policy, they get to split $1 million, right? So, there's $170,000 for each kid, right? Number one. But while I'm alive, if I need care, which scares me more than death, because if I'm dead, I don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not tripping. They're tripping. I hope they're tripping. So I need to leave them enough money so they don't have to start over. I know some people say, oh, my kid's going to earn it. Well, I'm glad I'm not your kid. So 1, 2, if you are in need of care, the insurance company will cut you a check, either in lump sum or monthly or however you want it, to support your bills, pay for your house, pay for your mortgage, pay for your masseuse, pay for your caretaker, pay for if you have kids, pay for your nanny. It will pay for you. There's no reason that your sponge baths should stop because you have a critical illness. You know what I'm saying? Term or whole life, get them both, have them all. I have term and I have whole life. And not whole life is shitty. It's permanent. Whole life is just a crappy part of permanent insurance. I have a universal life policy that's tied to the stock market. I put money into it. I can dump $1,000 a month into it. I don't see it because it's never going to lose. It's tied to the market. It's tax-free. So I just go, that's just there. In 20 years, 30 years, my $1,000 a month will be worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands tax-free. But if I need that money, now they will cut me a check to support my lifestyle. So you guys, here's one thing, and it's called critical care, and your employer they offer it, but they don't offer it like this. You need to own your own. And I'm not talking about hospital insurance. That's what health insurance is for. I'm talking about, I have a stroke and I'm sitting here and I just, I'm not in control of my life. And I'm sitting here and I'm stroked out. And you just see this fine woman come from behind me with a sponge. It's time for your bath, Mr. Coulter. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but that's my dream. Laugh if you want, but some of y'all shit is darker than that. So, or whatever it is, why should that stuff stop? So I know it sounds crazy. I'm trying to make this humorous, but you don't want to be that dude. Like I just lost a really good friend to cancer. In the last days of her life, she was dependent on her children. And the thing me and her talked about is, Walter, that's not gonna be me. And it was her for other reasons. And it went quick, but like, god dang, like, don't you want to be in control? Some of you guys are okay, well, if something happens to me, my kids gonna get me. No, they not. These kids these days ain't doing shit. I can promise you. Man, try and get your kids to do something for you. You can't even get them to get a job. It blows me away, these weak ass kids. But that's later for that. I mean, fish fries, GoFundMe. I mean, your kids are not wiping your butt. So pay these policies. I have term and permanent. One for cash and one for just a term. It's a bridge, right? And no, it's not long-term care. Let's keep it. This is why you're talking to the master. Long-term care, what long-term care does, and it has changed. You can thank the blue people for that. Long-term care used to cut you a check and you do what you want with your care. Now it's reimbursement. So if you spend money on getting care and from a facility or whatever, they reimburse. They used to cut you the check. So long-term care pays for just that. You getting treatment to whatever they're trying to do with you. Critical illness and injury is to give you money, like the duck, Aflac duck shows up and say, hey man, what we drinking tonight? I don't know. What you drinking? It gives you options and it's cheap. So, because if you had this insurance and you didn't save a dime and you just worked until you died and got crippled, at least you'd have some insurance to keep the party going when something happened to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you guys listen. This is me. I hear a lot of shit about money. They're like, I want to be careful because I don't want to step on too many toes. But like, I believe in God, but he ain't bringing no money to my house. Oh, I'm praying to the Lord for financial well-being. Stop lying to yourself. Some of you guys praying for money and you ain't even did the first thing he told you to do. So miss me with that shit. You need to be responsible for your own money. Period. You think some spirit's gonna come down and put money? People say, oh, I bought this house, it was the Lord. No, the Lord gave you the common sense to be able to get into the house. It's up to you to keep it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you guys, some of the wealthiest, most successful people in the world do not believe in Christianity. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying don't lean on that so much. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you do the work. Isn't there something in the Bible that says like the mustard seed, or you do the work, faith without the works is dead? Some of y'all believe that shit, but yet you still kicking it with faith. So miss me with that shit. You guys, it's you either victim or you are responsible. Oh, the pandemic showed up, so I lost my job. Then get moving. You guys, hallelujah for the pandemic. The pandemic tripled my wealth. See, when the pandemic hit, I was like, shit, what do we do? I was like, no, that's not. I was like, what is Grant Cardone doing? What is Ed Milet? What's Robert Kiyosaki? What's Donald Trump? What's Hunter Biden? What are these cats doing right now? What strategies are they putting in place? And so I started thinking like that. And I knew everybody was scared of the pandemic, so we started helping them with that. Then we started getting back into the cars. And you know what happened with real estate during the pandemic? Boom, it hit the bottom. So what did we do? Started buying this real estate that was laying on the ground that nobody could get because they were freaked out of the pandemic. Do you see what I'm saying? So thank God for the pandemic, not for the illness and the sickness, but for the opportunity to make a move. You get rich in times of chaos. During the Great Depression, during the Great Recession, you guys think about this. In 2008, the housing market crashed. Do you know how many people bought homes for pennies on the dollar? Insane amounts. Like my boy dumped his house for $90,000 in a short sale in the high desert. That house today is worth $500,000, 13 years later. What if he would have been in position where he could have bought 3 of the neighbors' houses? Oh, y'all sell? I'll give you 90, 90, 90. I got 4 homes. One I'm in 300,000 and it's only worth 99. And the other 4 I bought, I'm in 100 each. You see what I'm saying? Now all 4 of those homes go up. He's worth today $2 million. He ain't got no job. His woman ain't tripping because she ain't working. They each got their own cars. They can do what they want to do. So it's the chaos is when we do well. Some of y'all need to be happy for struggle. Because isn't that a lot of people talked about that? Oh my God, times are hard. I love hard times. Because you know why? Because it makes everyone else go run and hide and they leave money on the floor. Every time I see a BMW 328 fresh for 2008, and I go, man, one day that's going to be mine. It's going to be. Because people go to a dealer, oh my God, I can't afford this car no more. And I don't know why you got payments on a 2008, but whatever. And you turn it in for $1,500. They sell it at the auction for $1,900, $2,000. I buy it for $2,000 and put it back on the street for $45,000. And you could be doing this. I don't care. Maybe it's not cars. Maybe it's not houses. Maybe it's, I don't know, phones, candles. I know, doesn't Deanna make candles, or can she make candles? I mean, as you get grown and sexy, candles become a part of your life. I would rather buy a $20 candle from a young Black woman than a $16 candle from Target all day. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't that make more sense? So if you can get you some bowls and pour some candle wax and have homie love hold the wick, I mean, you could do this. Let me ask you a question. None to fivers. You work 40 hours a week, 10 hours in transportation, so there's 50. 10 hours telling your family I gotta work, fighting with them dudes. There's 60, 70 by the time you relax and regroup. So you mean to tell me in $70, 70 hours, you can't make $1,000? Break it on down. You know what I'm saying? What's 70 hours divided by $1,000? Shit, I don't know. I mean, I got my phone here. It's a calculator. What's $1,000 divided by 70? That can't be right. I'll say it ain't so. $14 an hour. Let me ask you a question. If I sold this candle, if I started a website, right? Drip It On Me Sexy, or I don't know what you do with candle wax in your home, but let's say this candle was $20 and it cost me $5 to make. That's $15 per candle. How many candles do I have to sell to make $1,000? Let's do the math. Dun, 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 dun. I know I'm singing the McDonald's song, but I am. 67 candles you need to sell to make $1,000. Can I ask you a question? If you had 70 hours a week and all you had to do was sell 60, 70 candles, could you do it if you spent 70 hours on it? All day. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not even that complicated. Some of the shit you guys it's not rocket science. You just need to pull the plug. If you have a job, when you get home, start making candles. Start doing this, start doing that. Rent out your rooms. Get you some of you guys, I'm giving you permission to go out and buy a couple cars because you can rent those out. Now, I saw somebody said when the system shuts down, all money, I mean, that is not true. And let me tell you why. That myth has been going around forever, forever, forever. You guys, think about when the system, and I get the point, there's always, if the system shuts down, commerce and barter is not going away. Maybe I'll sell chicken eggs, for mosses. I don't know, whatever. But there's still going to be some sort of hustle, some sort of production that you got to do. Because if the world is going to shut down, then what do we do? Because I get it. The world may shut down one day. I hope that it does. I'm waiting for it. You know why? Because I'm ready for it. If the world shuts down in my neighbor's house, he walks away from it for $100,000, I'm over there with it because one day it's going to open back up. And that's what we need to be ready for. right? There's no more fear. You can't have fear in finance. You can't do it. Scary money don't make money. So go out and get you a couple, they could be cheap cars. You know what I'm saying? You could drive. I have the brother at M500 on Instagram. He bought a smart car. He wrapped it with somebody's business, with all their advertisements, and he put the car, it was crazy. He put the car on Turo. I don't know how you rent out a car with stickers on it, but he put it on Turo. So I guess when it was on Turo, he took the stickers off. It was on Turo. And then when it wasn't on Turo's, he put the stickers on and paid somebody to drive the car around. So let's say he makes $1,000 a week from advertising, but he's giving this kid $500 a week. He's making $500. He ain't even in the car. You see what I'm saying? And then you have Turo. Come on, y'all. Now, what do I think about cryptocurrency? I don't know enough about it. What I do with cryptocurrency is I buy it sometimes and I forget about it. The thing I don't like about cryptocurrency, using it as a stable asset, because it goes up and down. One thing I like about the banks is if I go into Wells Fargo and I put $1 in there, next week it's still $1. If I put $1 in cryptocurrency, next week it could be $70. And that's what I think people are missing. Cryptocurrency is a long-term investment. Period. If you're using cryptocurrency for money you need next week, man, you're going to be in for a rude awakening, because it hit 70,000, 64, 28. I don't know what it is today, but the other day it was 45. I can't, every day, imagine your bank account fluctuating every day by 20% and nothing has changed activity-wise. Do you understand what I'm saying? So crypto is something you put on the back burner and you leave it for later. It's like life insurance. You put the money in there. It's like your 401k. You got to have money for later. But for right now, you need to make moves. So back to protection real quick is get as much as you can. Seriously, you guys, I promise you do not want to be that cat that is waiting for your kids to wipe your butt. I refuse to be laid up in the tub and have my daughter Brittany get me out of the tub, butt naked, wrapping me up in a towel, and I'm just her and my kids is dragging my ass to the bed and rolling me over, putting baby powder where it shouldn't go. A hail to the gnaw. I'm singing that old "Hail to the Gnaw" song with the old dude out in the woods. But don't do that to yourself. Like, be up. My pastor at New Jerusalem used to say, "Be upright." Like, do the right thing. You guys, it's 60, 70, $80 a month will give you the protection to make sure your kids are, and if your kids are wiping your butt, they're getting paid for it. Do you know what I'm saying? That's it. Now, if you got crypto, see, long term, Reggie, that's cool. Hold the stuff long term, because I do believe one day crypto will be out of here. But I don't know when that is. So any crypto that I have, I just keep it and I forget about it and I invest in it. Because really, if you listen to the real bosses in finance, they say you should have about 1% of your net worth in crypto. Some of you guys have 20, 30, 40% of your net worth in cryptocurrency. You're asking for an ass whooping. Like when Elizabeth Warren and AOC and some of these wackos on the left get hold of that stuff, it's a wrap. I promise you. Remember the last hearing they had? I can't remember what it was. And Elizabeth Warren starts talking about, the war in Ukraine. She's talking about cryptocurrency. I'm like, what does cryptocurrency got to do with Ukraine? Like, miss me with that. So use that stuff long term. You know what they're not going to mess with right now? Cash, because they're too busy getting it under the table from their constituents. So keep cash and put it to work. Russia, oil is extremely cheap. Where at? I mean, I paid $7 for gas yesterday, so I would like to have some of that cheap oil. But anyways, let's move on, because you guys here, let's deal with things that we can deal with. I don't know shit about oil, right? I don't have an oil well in my backyard. If I did, I wouldn't be talking to y'all. I'd be sitting on my boat, like Caviar and Thurston the Third, or Gilligan's Island's crew, whoever those people are. So I'm going to move on, but I'm going to take questions or comments before I move to the liabilities and assets and get onto the credit.
Well, we're at an hour or so here, so I know time goes by so fast.
It really does. Thank God I don't have a job. So let me move to assets and liabilities. Liabilities is where people get rich. Period. Well, actually, let me come back to life. Let me hit assets first. Assets is anything that you can sell for cash. Turn, oh, that's my Ring camera on my lake house. Somebody walking by, you got to get you one of these. Man, you can see everything. Anyways, assets, anything that you can turn into cash, that's an asset, right? If you have an Airbnb, or let's say you have, a bunch of candles, or let's say you have a business, somebody makes candles for you and it pays you $1,000 a week after you pay all of them. That is an asset that you can sell your business that's turning a profit to someone for a profit or for cash, right? So go through all of your bank statements, money, I don't care, cars you have laying around. Some of you guys got 2 or 3 cars just sitting in the driveway. They're not on tour, they're not making money, right? Some of you guys have assets. I'll give you a quick strategy with assets and cars. If you have a car and let's say you owe $2,000 on it, but it's worth $10,000, you know what I would do if I needed money? I'd sell it. I would sell it, take the $8,000 left, take $1,000, go $2,000 of that $8,000 down, get me a car. Talk about if I'm struggling, get into a situation where I can finance a car for $200, $300, $400 a month, right? So I put down 2,000 of the 8. I still have 6 in the bank. I put $2,000 down. I'm paying $400 a month on the car, and it's on Turo, paying me $1,000 a month or whatever. And now I'm making the $600 from the Turo after I make my payment, and I still have $600. Then I use another $2,000 of that, and I get me the car I want to roll in. Because it doesn't make sense to put a big down payment on cars. You guys stop doing that. That only works for the banks. You put $20,000 down on a $40,000 car, man. Trust me, put the money to work. So with that being said, now you have that car and you have your own car. And so like now, let's say you're going on vacation. You're going to be in Aruba for a week. You can put the car that you drive yourself on Turo, make it cheap so it's guaranteed to rent. And now you got 2 cars making you money. While you're on vacation, the people that are renting your cars are paying for your vacation. It's called the paid vacation. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you guys have cars. Cars are the easiest. The car, my Range Rover, is how I bought my Texas property in Dallas. We put in escrow a couple years ago. It was complete madness. And then we had to do a couple things. So I decided I would use the money for the property, and I ended up buying the car with it. But after I got the money from the bank, I took the money they gave me, and then I put down for my half of the property that me and my son did some things to, and we fixed up and we sold it for an undisclosed amount. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's one thing you could do. So with my car payment, I bought a house, made a bunch of money, and it's paying me $2,000 last month. So I'm making money every month. I got a lump sum from the asset I bought and sold, and I still get to whip around in a Range Rover for 15, 20 days a month that I do not pay for. So when someone like this chick rolled up, oh, you got a Range Rover, that's nice. I was like, back up, chicken head. Like, I was thinking to myself, she's in a Honda Accord. She pays more for her Honda than I pay on my Range Rover because of how I do it. So you ever seen the guy, the girl with 3 luxury cars on Instagram? That's what they should be doing. You could literally have a Range Rover, a Tesla, S550. You could have all 3 of those cars on Turo and have somebody else renting it. In your driveway, when they're not being rented, you just have 3 badass cars in your driveway. And because you Airbnb your investment house that is now paying the mortgage on your current house, now you got everything's paid for and you ain't even went to work yet. Now you can take your butt to Starbucks and get a job for $15 to cover your food, and bam, no more. I mean, you get the point. Sell some candles, right? Sell 1 candle an hour, pays you $1,000 a week. Am I missing something here? Like, I'm seriously thinking about selling candles. You know me. I got like 8 things I do. I'm like living color. You do too many things. Some of y'all ain't doing enough things, right? So assets are stuff that you can turn into cash. Get as many as you can. And you guys, some of the people are saying, well, I don't want to buy it because I don't know if prices are going to, what's going to happen to prices. Let me tell you about owning stuff makes you a better person. It puts you in a position where you treat yourself better. And I don't want to sound like a dick, but homeowners and renters act differently. They do. You can tell who owns a house and who rents a house most of the time. You understand? And you hear it all the time in my neighborhood in Texas. Oh my God, the renters are here. That's the shitty house. It's the renters. Now, it's not all renters, but when you own stuff, you treat it better. You understand what I'm saying? So it's better to accumulate things and do it as much as you can. And accumulate. So instead of spending that money eating out, buy something of value. There was a time me and my sister would just talk every day about buying. What stocks are you buying today? Remember that? What am I doing with my $100 today? We're buying options on Home Depot, or we made a bunch of Apache. Oh, hallelujah! We made money on Apache, and some of those companies we got killed on Aurora Cannabis. Donovan. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. But we made money because we were putting money into things instead of spending it. We were investing. And then last, let's talk liabilities. Because I think most of us have liabilities confused. A liability, so I'm going to write it down. Let's say, and I'm going to put, well, my sister has her Cash App. You can send it to her. Let's say I borrow $100,000. You can send it to my sister's Cash App. She'll give it to me. I'll send you an IOU. Right? And I haven't always done this right, but lately, things have been going really well. Take $100,000. Let's say, what's a crappy interest rate? 15%?
I was going to say, yeah, about that, or 20.
Let's say I'm paying 20%. That means I'm paying $20,000 a year in interest on that $100,000. Now, there's some people, Dave Ramsey, a lot of people say, oh, 20%, you're a fool. I pity the fool that paid 20%. What if you paid 20% on the $100,000, but made 50% on it? Some of you guys could hit your credit cards for $100,000, pay them 20, and put it to work and make 80% on the difference. Do you realize with the $100,000 borrowed, invested in the right places, that you can make $80,000 a year, $100,000 a year? Think about this. If you go to my Facebook page, Walter Lee Coulter's me and my grandson on there. Today I put up on my page, I saw this Bentley drive by at the auction. It was beautiful, black on black Bentley GT. They wanted $40,000 for this Bentley. Nobody bid on it. Because what the people that are there with me know that, oh, this car, that's too much for us. But on the street, that car sells for $55,000. So we want to buy the car at $35,000. So we buy it at $35,000, put it on the street for $55,000. We make $20,000 on that one Bentley play. That $20,000 that you make on that Bentley will cover the whole interest payment for the whole $100,000. So you're only using $35,000 of it to pay the interest on the whole $100,000. Follow me. So let's say I go out and I buy 3 Bentleys, black, white, and silver. You pull up to my house, I got 3 Bentleys sitting outside. I paid $35,000 for each, and I sell them for $55,000. How much money is that? 3 times 20. $60,000. Some of you guys going to work for $1,000 a week, and you could just do what I told you to do, and you could sell 3 Bentleys all year if that's all you did, and you would replace your job. It's so basic that it doesn't have to be Bentleys. It could be whatever. It could be blenders. It could be shoes. There's a site out there. I'm gonna give it to you. It's called The Real. You can buy Louis, Gucci. You can buy real luxury goods, and they're real. I shouldn't have told y'all that, but I'm gonna tell you, just don't compete. If you see my name up there, just back up. So now you can buy stuff from there and sell it online on eBay to other people that aren't in the know. Knowledge is power. Do you know what I'm saying? How do you get under that student loan? Make 90 and give it to them. Right? I just told you how to make 60. Now people say, "Oh, I can't get the money." Yes, you can. If you get on the phone, go through your contact list, and you ask everybody on your contact list, "Hey, I'm starting a business. I'm going to grow this money. I need you to invest or participate." If they say no, delete them, unless it's family and friends. Okay, don't delete them. But can I be honest? Some of y'all got people in your Rolodex that don't do crap for you. Every time you talk to them, they want to go back in the days and talk about high school and Club Metro. They ain't doing nothing for you. They want to bring their sob stories. They want to talk about Joe Biden. He didn't do shit for black people. We told you he wouldn't, but whatever. They want to talk about, they ain't doing nothing. That's why I rarely answer the phone. My boys, I talk to them Friday night or Saturday morning when I'm not doing nothing. Do you understand what I'm saying? So go to everybody. This is what banks do. Wells Fargo, you can't walk into a Wells Fargo bank without them looking at you like, "Oh, you want to open an account?" And Wells Fargo will open an account if you want it or not. So what if everybody you talk to, you said, "Hey man, cut me a check. I need $5,000. I need $7,000. I need $10,000." And you ask everybody, like some of y'all do when somebody passes away, you go to GoFundMe and you go and raise $20,000. Why not raise $20,000 for the living? Take that 20. Right now, man, I wish I was on my phone. I have 6 BMWs at my house. My neighbor's looking irritated. They can kiss my ass. This is my money. I got 4, 2 in the garage, two parked on the side. Each one of those cars represent $2,000 in my pocket. The crazy part is my son's friend is out there doing it. I'm selling them, talking to the people. I give him 300 a car, I keep the other 1,700 or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? So some of you guys could do that. Whatever it is, stop with the fear stuff and get the money. So when it comes to going in debt, some people say I'm debt free. Listen, being debt free and you don't have assets working for you is backwards. Unless you are truly free. Because I know some of you guys are truly free. But some of y'all are free, but you're a car accident or slip and fall or heart attack, stroke away from not being free. So use your liabilities, you guys. Man, I'm telling you, here's what I talk to my kids about and their friends. Shit, I got one outside. His credit's going up. I got a model upstairs. She's supposed to come down. She ain't ready, but whatever. Next week you'll see her, hopefully. Built her credit. Everybody around me, I'm building their credit. You know what would be really good is if in 2 years, everybody that I knew had a 750 FICO score and they had money saved, and we can go out. Now we can buy the block. Now we can say, you know what? We want to buy 10 cars. We can spend 100,000 on the 10, but we know we can sell them for 150, and we'll split the 50,000 this month. So this month we split 50,000 bucks, and then next month we do it again, and we do it again, and we keep doing it. So be like the bank. Get all the money you can. Here's what I'm talking to the G's and the people that want to move the money. If you just want a simple life, like my man said, then keep a simple life. But I'm gonna go deep right here. Forgive me, Lord, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm unapologetic to a degree. And I want to say this. Now, maybe I'm using maybe I'm Benzino right now. I'm tying it the wrong way, putting it together wrong. But you know who felt that they were free? Is a lot of people like the Indians, the slaves in Africa. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people, you can't be free without protection. Like me and my sister talk about Black Wall Street all the time. Everybody free, we singing life is good, and then they show up and showing up like guns and weapons. If you have your money straight and your protection, I guarantee you, if those Africans or the Indians would have each had a weapon, when the Nina, the Pita, the Santa Maria, and the Chicago, whatever the shit is, showed up, I guarantee you it would have been a different story. So what buys weapons? Money. You got to be ready. Now, this may sound a little extreme, but you guys, you need to be ready because you can be free. And one thing, like some of you guys think you're free and you live in Houston and a tornado could wipe your house out. And it could be a year before they rebuild your house. It could be months before they cut you a check. What you going to do if you don't have no money?
And I will say this, since I've been here, I've been hid in the closet twice for tornado warnings. I'm like, I need to get back to California where we have nice earthquakes.
It's insane. I was in Texas, me and my son, and we had like crazy winds. And as soon as we left, they had a tornado. I'm like, damn, y'all got hurricanes and tornadoes, and y'all have no money saved. Y'all don't have no your insurance. I mean, you don't have Plan B. You know why Black people and minorities die in natural disasters? Because they can't afford to leave. They can't afford to leave. All these Black people got their ass up in the Superdome in Louisiana, in New Orleans, where they play football, living in a stadium. You mean to tell me you couldn't have $4,000 saved so you can catch a ticket, get on the bus, and go visit a relative, go stay in a hotel for a week? Now, it sounds shitty. People say, oh, it wasn't their fault. It is their fault because there's some people that left. There's some people that had the money saved to move their family to safety. There's some people that don't live below sea level with no money saved. So when you get to that point, you will do well. You don't have to be wealthy. Whatever. You don't want to be wealthy. Cool. I need to be wealthy. I need to be rich as hell. You know why? Because I got too many kids, too many dreams, too many goals, and too many things could happen.
And a sister.
And a sister and a niece. Lord have mercy. You need to be wealthy. And wealth is having enough money coming through the door where it doesn't take up your time. And money's coming through the door where you are free. Because you can make $1 million a year and not be free. As Tyga or YG or whatever the rapper was, who lost his car. You know what I'm saying? Or all these celebrities. You see them all the time. I was on the phone with one of my boys who's in sports and entertainment when the Black Eyed Peas got a phone call that their money was gone. I was like, damn, y'all got a hit record. But they were like, where's the money? I remember him being on the phone with some of them. I'm like, oh shit, what do we do? You see what I'm saying? That's how I got Kanye West. He went to his account one day and the shit was empty, and his business manager was just like, yo, I don't know. None of y'all know? So make sure you know where you stand. Stack your money. You need to be wealthy. Or be at the whims of somebody else. Like, just, man, I'm telling you, some of you guys are months away from never working again, from being free, from being in a situation where some other man or other woman isn't talking to your spouse crazy at work, or he or she can't make love to you because they got to go kick it with the boss at happy hour. Like, some of y'all are this close to being free. And if it were me, if I was dead broke starting over, I would build my credit at all costs. You can go to self.com, give them $50 to $100 a month, pay yourself, they'll put it on your credit like you're paying them. Citibank, Capital One will give you a secure credit card. Heck, First Premier, some of these banks will give you a credit card, will give almost anybody a credit card. Pedal, Upgrade, some of these people will loan you money, loan almost anybody money. Now, the interest rate's going to be terrible. My first credit card, when I rebuilt my credit, when I went from rolling with Kanye West, celebrities, Lil Wayne, you name it, all those cats, to sleeping on my sister's couch. Do you remember this? It was like, ooh, it was tough. The first thing I did is I got a First Premier and Orchard Bank credit card. Both of them gave me a credit card, $300 each, $75 a year fee, 17%, $7 a month. I was just getting pa-pow. They were whooping my ass in fees. But now, those two credit cards allowed me to get other credits. Now, I canceled the Orchard, and the First Premier I have, because they reduced the fees, and one of my kids has it, but I keep it because it's been on my credit 12, 13 years. So that's the only reason I keep it, because it's the longest account I have. So from being dead broke on my sister's couch to getting those two credit cards, and then I got some security cards, and then my credit started moving. Remember, I bought the Mercedes, the S500 that was 18 years old. I bought that. I started building my credit, and before you know it, I was back on my feet. I went from sleeping on her couch to having two or three homes and looking at a fourth and like just doing whatever I wanted to do. And it was all using my credit and my mouth, like asking people, yo, let's get down. Like my sister tell you, when we hang up this live and we talk tomorrow tonight, Donovan, you too, I see you. Um, our conversation is, yo, let's put this money up and let's go do this. Right now, my real estate agent is texting me on a house that I'm trying to get for me and my sister in Montgomery, a condo, 200,000 on the water that rents out for $200 a night on Airbnb. Mortgage payment $1,400 with HOAs and everything. So 7 nights on Airbnb pays for the house. The other 21 nights we can kick it in the crib. And wouldn't it make sense if we each pitched in, me, Donovan D, some one of y'all jump in, comment, like, whatever, and we each pitched in $300-400? Wouldn't it be worth $300-400 just to own a house on the lake anyway? Even if we didn't rent it out, what would that do to your self-esteem, knowing that you could go to your house that you own 25% of and sit and look at the water and drink champagne or tea or coffee? Have your kids come over, get on the boat. Like, some of you guys are a few $100 away from absolute freedom. So I would use your credit. Borrow everything you can if you're going to do the right thing with it. Because if you miss a payment, it's a wrap. Then you get murdered. So
Absolutely.
that's what we need, y'all. Like, we'll give you 20% on your money. I'll do it all day. That's what they do. Now, as far as the community, let me just say this, you guys, our community ain't ready for wealth. I'm just going to tell you. And this is what I tell my assistant all the time. We got to cut the race shit out. It's keeping Black people poor. We're, as a community, we can't keep waiting for us. We just got to move. And then we can come back for them. My sister will tell you, every time I hire somebody, I'm like, do you know a Black plumber? Do you know a Black real estate agent? Do you know a Black this? I always call her. Do you know a Black, like my gardener, when that does my house in Texas, he's a brother. You know what I'm saying? My inspector was a brother. You know what I'm saying? I try and do that. But if that don't work, I move on. Like, pigmentation is, the point I'm making is our community trying to talk to them is costing our lives. And here's what I mean by that, because you have to keep saying the same damn thing over and over and over. I had a dude tell me at work, Walter, and we are drunk. He's an old white dude. I could have punched him in the nose or slapped him like Will Smith. He goes, Walter, and he was old white dude. He was dead serious. He was dealing with your people. We will use your stationery for scratch paper. And this was long. This was 20 years ago. And I was like, and he looked at me dead in the face. And I was just, because he was like, Walter, why are you doing all these Black awards and Black seminars for all these churches? And he goes, Walter, they don't want it. You're our number one dude, but your numbers have decreased trying to help your people only. You got to help everybody. This is an old white dude telling me this. See what I'm saying? So we need to help ourselves first. Black people, we have too many talents to be where we are. We survived slavery, Wall Street, all these, all these things, and the shit we're surviving right now. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, whoever's in the office, AOC, whatever's going on. We survived all that. We get together, instead of talking moving money, we talk about politics and stuff that has nothing to do with us. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, they're all crooks. They're all cronies, and they're going to always be that way. Why don't we focus on us? Because what I'm trying to do is get into the Donald Trump, Hunter Biden after party so I can see where the moves are being made. Because I'm trying to make sure my kids and grandkids are safe after I leave this planet. And we ain't going to do it. We ain't going to do that. And I know it sounds crappy, but we ain't going to do that waiting like, oh, we got to help the community. No, help yourself and make the community come to you. Know who comes to the community goes to? Jay-Z, Kanye, Oprah. You know how you get the Black community on your side? Is do well. Then they come to you because we like nice stuff. That's it. That's how I get Black people's attention. I was doing this money show and then people falling asleep, nodding, like doing the jig, not paying attention. I start talking about cars and shit, like it's packed. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I'm not. I apologize, and I'll end with this. I'm not very religious. I mean, I believe in God. I'm not dumb, but I don't believe that God did everything He needed to do to get us in this form to where everything works. Like everything, everything works, but yet we still need Him to make money. We still need Him to be to work on time. I'm praying on the miracle. No, you're not. You're using an excuse not to do shit. Like there's no like miracles. It's a miracle that your heart beats the way it does and your lungs function properly. That is the miracle. Not you getting a job at TJ Maxx. That's not the miracle. That's hard work. Assuming you work at TJ Maxx. T-shirt business. Matter of who is that, Tracy? Tracy, I'm gonna do you this. I have a t-shirt company, Verbal Herb, verbs that make you high instead of weed, words that take you high. You go to verbalherb.com. Our website is up. I am in right now. I am looking for people to help me run this business. My sister's supposed to be hiring a social media person. I am looking for people that want to sell 1,000 shirts a month. We'll start with there. 1,000 shirts a month, $29.99. There's a company called Printful. Will take your design. They will have the shirt in the factory and they will send the shirt out for you. You don't touch nothing. Somebody goes to your website, order it, goes to Printful. They send the shirt. You don't even touch it. Boom. 20 bucks, 15, 10, whatever you sell the shirt for. So I'm looking for people. So you can hit up my sister. She can get you to me. I'm looking for people that want to work like hell and get this clothing line off the ground. Because I tell you what, I know Kanye's done well financially, but you know when he got rich, when he got in the consumer business, clothes, making homeless clothes, charging 300 bucks for a sweater that he beat up a homeless dude for. Or some Yeezys. I saw a pair of Yeezys in the thrift store on used for $300. Come on, man. Like, I love Kanye. I think he's the greatest, he's the brilliantest person I've ever met. You can argue he's crazy, but name somebody that's wealthy and successful. Steve Jobs, Mark Cuban, that ain't. You know what I'm saying? Successful people are, they seem to be insane. Elon Musk, do you realize they pressed charges against Elon Musk 2 years ago? Remember that when he said the stock was going to 420? He was high. Joe Rogan, it's going to 420. Do you know where his stock is right now? Close to $6,000. Come on now. They press charges against Elon Musk. People said he was crazy. Now, 420 stock, I think it was 3 at the time, is worth, I don't know, whatever. It's something insane in the thousands, right? So it's okay to be nuts. Let them talk about you while you're working hard. I promise you guys. Yeah, Kanye is a genius. I know he slips up and people say, oh, you should, man, listen. Kanye is just like you and me. He got problems. He's crazy. But this brother, I'm going to step on some toes right now. I feel like Medea. In my opinion, Kanye West has done more for Black people than most of our Black leaders. And I'm talking about the new Black leaders. Not talking about the Martins and the old, the Sojourners. I'm talking about the new Black leaders, the people of today. Because, like, me being president of the United States is probably not going to happen, right? But you know what I could do? Is I could build a multi-billion-dollar clothing line inside of 5 years. I could start a shoe company. I could start an Instagram that gets 1 million followers and sell every one of them something once a year. Times $10 a person, I'm making 10 million a year. Coulter's candles. There it is. Bam! Write it down. I'm glad I came. So if you guys want to invest in Coulter's candles, I'm taking money deep. Put up your Cash App again. There it is. For a small fee, you can join my company. It sounds crazy, but when I hang up on this live, I'm going to have my assistant Google glasses, wicks, and candles, wax, and see. I mean, like, it's money. Money's everywhere. I could be broke right now. If I can raise some money to put these candles out, I can sell these candles on my Facebook. It's that easy, you guys, to make money. Tell your boss to kick rocks. And I'm going to spend my 70 hours a week working on me. Even the t-shirt, I can't remember her name, whatever it is, don't forget to hit me up. And if you don't, I see you again, I'm gonna talk about you. So if t-shirts, you can make $15 a shirt and you sell, I don't know, what's 100 shirts a week? It's $1,500. Can you, working 5 days a week, sell 20 shirts a day? You could. If you woke up at 6, got them ready, prepped the trunk, hit them up. You know what I'm saying? And you don't even have to do it in the trunk. You can put them in the front seat. You only got 20. You can put 20 shirts right here. Take this right here, this, and you go out and get your 20 shirts. Do that 5 days a week. Ta-da. See what I'm saying? And you're at $75,000 a year selling 20 shirts in the parking lot. People see, oh, I saw Walter selling t-shirts in the parking lot. But they're going to see me pop open the trunk of my Range Rover and get 20 more while they at lunch. I don't care what people say to me. I'll sell cookies and candy door to door if it's going to pay me $75,000. That's how you have to think. And don't let these fools teach you differently. I don't care what it is. People will say, oh, well, everybody can't. Yes, they can. Anybody can start Coulter's Candles or whatever you got, or Verbal Herb t-shirt line, which we started during the pandemic. I used my stimulus money to start my clothing line. So those are some of the things you can do. As we progress on this show, I want to take topics a week in advance. If you could, give me a topic and we just talk about, like how does Turo work, or how do you use Capital One, or my favorite bank, Navy Federal, which they may not approve everyone, but you can go to like Westlake or Wilshire Finance and they will finance almost anybody. You could have a 220 credit score and Westlake Financial will finance your car. Your interest rate is going to be high as the Dickens. It's going to be 20%. So that $10,000 car that should be $150 might be $250. But if you can pay $250 a month and rent it out for $1,000, you're still making $750 with a shitty car loan. You see what I'm saying? And then once you build your credit, then you go back to Navy Federal and say, okay, run my credit again. I paid off my loans, whatever. My shit is back together. And then Navy says, oh, boom. Now we'll give you a check so you can not go out and buy one car. You can go and buy two. And I'm going to end the game with this. And if you don't do this right, you're going to struggle. With credit unions, if you identify a car, like when I bought my Range Rover, they said, Mr. Coulter, we're giving you this money. If you don't give us the title in 90 days, we're going to turn your car loan with the lower interest rate into a consumer loan, and your interest rate's going to be 20%. And I thought to myself, so let me get this straight. You're giving me the money, and if you don't get the title, you're going to convert my loan. Okay. Which means my car is free and clear and I can borrow money again? Oh, don't get me started. I didn't do it because I was being scared. But the next time, I'm going to do it. Because now I can have 2 car loans on 1 car. Now I got enough money to buy 2 houses. And I'll never work again. All you guys can do what I just said. I don't care how jacked up your credit is. If you have a job, you can buy your car, put it on tour, build your credit for 6 to 12 months, go out, hit the credit union, and get 2 cars and be done. And tell your boss good night. That's it. So.
Absolutely. Well, Walter, that is Mr. Walter Coulter. And he is going to be here every Wednesday on Wealth Wednesday with Walter, dropping us the game and knowledge and all of that. And he is answering everybody's questions because the goal is really to help us do better. Because as he said, as far as our community, we are always going to struggle if we don't have our finances together. And all of the experts talk about it, especially that of Dr. Claude Anderson. He talks about us, practicing group economics and all that. Well, we can't practice group economics if we don't have our own cash flowing, right? So got to take care of ourselves first, and then we take care of the community, right? And if we take care of ourselves first, the community is automatically going to take care of itself. So we thank y'all so much. And if y'all have something y'all want us to talk about, hit me up. And I will, bring it to Walter and we'll discuss it on every Wednesday. So we're going to be here every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Time with Wealth Wednesday with Walter. So anyway, we thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for the donations. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And tell a friend. So we'll see y'all later.
And if you get some time, go over to Verbal Herb or Cornucopia. Check us out. Coach's
Awesome.
Candles next week.
Hey, Indy, how you doing? All right, y'all. So we'll see y'all later.
All right. Peace out.